Hey everyone, Kevin and Amy here today to talk to you a little bit about the listing process from beginning to end. The way we like to start is with our phone call, and then we schedule a walkthrough.
Yeah, and in the walkthrough, there's a lot of different things we're looking for. So, we like to give you tips and tricks on basically how to get the most value out of your home. So by doing our initial walkthrough, we can judge pretty well maybe if there's some improvements you need to make, or maybe if there's some you would like to make. We can kind of guide you on whether or not it's a good idea to make those improvements, whether or not you're going to get 2 to 3 times your money back. So we'll do that walkthrough. We'll point out some things, and then we'll make lists for you from there.
Yeah, and then after the walkthrough, what we like to do is we'll send an email that just gives you a breakdown of what we talked about from our meeting. It helps remind you of what that looks like, and then also we'll give you a price range of what we think you should list your home at. Ultimately, it's up to the seller to decide what that is, but we do give you a range on which you think could fit how you want to list it.
Yeah, and like Amy's saying, we'll break those price ranges down. If you do this to your house, expect to get this much. If you do these things and don't do these things, then here's kind of what you should expect to get out of it. Oftentimes we have something set in our mind that we think needs to be done to the house, and it actually doesn't need to be done to have the best presentation on the market.
From there, then we like to schedule our stager to come and do the walkthrough, and one of two things can happen. If it's vacant, doesn't really matter. If you're living there, then she'll do a punch list, room by room, that will give you just suggestions on what you should do to make it more photography friendly, I guess you would call it. We stage for photos because that is where everyone primarily will see your home for the very first time, and we want to get them in your home. So the stager will either do a punch list and give you some homework, or after the punch list, she'll either bring items in, or if you have everything she needs, then she won't bring anything in.
Yeah, and one of the biggest questions we get with the staging part too is, Kevin and Amy, I have so much stuff. I don't know what I'm going to do with that if she's going to stage and move things around. Well, don't be afraid to use the garage or the basement. If you have a basement and you've got an unfinished section, feel free to pack that. Or the garage, you can pack that garage full of stuff. People understand that you live there and you're moving, and that you have things that are going to be in the way for the move. So pack them all in the garage. It's not a big deal. People look past that every day when they're looking at houses.
And then the next thing we like to do is get the photographer over there shortly after staging, literally if not the same day the home's been staged. And that's really important because we don't want anything being moved around during that time of staging from the photographer showing up. So we meet them out there, and we go in every single room and help the photographer make sure that there's things that are, not hanging that shouldn't be hanging, and things are moved that should be moved that are not in the photos.
Right, exactly. I mean, it could be just as small as, the trash can is still sitting in your kitchen. We like to move the trash can out of there for the kitchen photo so it's not there. It's just anything that could possibly detract somebody's eye. Because as we know, everybody shops on these things right here. So you've got a limited space that you're viewing photos from, and one little thing can be a huge distraction from the bigger picture of what you're trying to show them.
And then after the photos, we basically are ready to go active. So we get those photos from the photographer, we upload them into the MLS, and then we talk to you about showings and try to get your schedule and try to, our goal is that the showings are as accessible to the buyers as possible. So we'll talk with you through that and what your schedule looks like, and just try to make that as accessible to the buyers as possible.
Yeah, and there's a process for all of that, and there's more detail. We'd walk you through all of that, and then there's guidelines that we set for you as to what to expect when we go on the market. as we know, the market's changed, and now most homes are no longer flying off the shelf like that. So everything has to be right. From the preparation work you did to your home to get it on the market, which we help you do that, to the presentation of it and to the pricing of it, everything has to all be in line and be right to move. And then we have guidelines for if it's not, certain amount of days on the market, certain amount of days without showings, stuff like that. And then we start talking about what we need to do to get you moved out of there.
Yeah, and then I would say the final big step is just getting you through inspection. And so we walk you through that. We help negotiate with the buyers if they're asking for anything on inspection. And then we also will schedule all of the contractors, and we have a list of contractors that we work with, and we can assist you on getting everyone over there, getting pricing, deciding, and helping you decide what you're going to do and what you're not going to do.
So as we like to tell everybody, all these contractors we have used on our house prior to referring them, which is why they're vetted. It hasn't always worked out in our favor that way because we've had to have contractors redo a lot of things and hire new ones and then fire the old ones. But the point being, you guys will get contractors from us that we know do a good job for you.
Yeah. So then we get to the closing table, and that would be where we're at. So that's most of the process. Obviously, we could go into more detail, but we'll keep it as short as we can here. But yeah, thanks, Kevin. Thanks for joining us on the listing side today.
Hey, you bet.
Yeah.
Thank you, guys.
Have a great day.